because Uttama Adhikari sees everyone greater than himself. He is the servant of everybody. So he has to change the consciousness. He comes in the mood of Madhyama Adhikari. Madhyama Adhikari is about seeing the differences, the innocent, the demons, the devotees, the discrimination, to preach. Uttama Adhikaris can't preach. That's not their business. So Prabhupada, he took on the role of a Parivrajikacharya, traveling sannyasi. That was his transcendental dress that Prabhupada took on. And when I personally met Srila Prabhupada in the summer of 1972 in London, I was very fortunate to go into his room. I was called because Prabhupada needed some devotees to come and start these projects, these very important projects. It was all part of Prabhupada's agenda, because he knew that he wasn't going to be here very long. He knew that. So he wanted to do as much as possible. So I met Srila Prabhupada, and I won't go into the details of those circumstances. That could be for another time. But when I entered into the room, I was so overwhelmed and felt so unworthy. And when I went into the room there was a golden hue in the room, you know. And I just felt an incredible awe and reverence and a feeling of being so, you know, unworthy. I can't think of another word right now. And I was reading about golden hues, and there is a scripture by Sanatana Goswami, and it was translated by one of our dear godbrothers who no longer is here. Now, what was his name? Gopi Prana? Gopi, yeah, and he translated the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And there's a description, and Sridhar Swami is commenting. Prabhupada quoted Sridhar Swami, Narottam Das Thakur, and this was a commentary about Hiranmayena. There's a Sanskrit name, Hiranmayena, which means the golden hue. And it was in relationship to Dhruva. When he had finished his meditation and he was about to go to the Vaikuntha planets, an airship, a transcendental airship appeared to take him back. And as he was circumambulating the transcendental airship, Sridhar Swami comments that he became fit and ready, and he developed this golden hue. And in the same purport it explains about the Vaikuntha Vasis, the inhabitants of Vaikuntha Loka, and they all have this golden hue. And when the Uttama Adhikaris, they come down, like Srila Prabhupada, to preach in the material world, they also maintain a golden hue. And it wasn't until I read this particular purport that I realized I actually saw with my own eyes that golden hue at that time in 1972 in Bury Place. And I think that if all God sisters and God brothers got together and talked about golden hue, how many times did we see that golden complexion of Srila Prabhupada? You know? He was the complete package, Srila Prabhupada, from the descriptions of the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. You know, there he was. Prabhupada came amongst us, you know. So he had true compassion on the fallen conditioned souls, because Prabhupada knew that we all had the potential as marginal energy, as pure spirit souls, to again transform ourselves by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's process of the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And I remember in London, before I came to India, I think it was Conway Hall. Do you remember Conway? Was it Conway Hall? There was a famous hall, and Prabhupada gave this lecture. He gave this talk, and it was an incredibly intellectual talk about Krishna consciousness. And in the audience there was this Buddhist lady, and she was dressed in a Buddhist robe, and she was an older lady. She had grey hair, and very mature looking, very serious person. And she said to Prabhupada, how do you know that Krishna is God? You know, how do you know? And Prabhupada said, Shraddha is very important, faith. Can anyone think of a sloka in Gita about faith? 6th chapter, at the end. Of all yogis. You know the translation? Yeah? Say it. Yeah. Okay. Of all yogis, he who abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. So Prabhupada said to this lady, Shraddha, faith is the first ingredient. And then he said the second ingredient is a hypothesis. So hypothesis is a process of trial and error. Scientists use it all the time. They're always doing a hypothesis to defeat another other scientist's hypothesis, you know. So the hypothesis that Prabhupada was suggesting that this lady do was the chanting of Hare Krishna. He said, this is my hypothesis. So he said, Shraddha, the process by which you can understand Krishna, the chanting of Hare Krishna, that is the hypothesis that you adopt. And then Prabhupada said, direct perception. So Shraddha, the hypothesis of taking on the process brought by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the chanting of the Maha Mantra, will give you with patience, utsahan nishchaya deya, tatat kama bhavatana. That's confidence, patience, enthusiasm. If you keep those qualities while performing your sadhana, your bhakti, your chanting, Prabhupada says then, direct perception. So just like in this verse, it describes, Krishna says, if you want to see me directly, then it is only through bhakti. And the process for understanding bhakti, for performing bhakti, is the chanting of Hare Krishna that is brought by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, if you look at Parandama is what all the Vaikuntha-vasis, all the inhabitants of the Goloka, of Goloka Vrindavan and the Vaikuntha Lokas, they're all engaged in Parandama. Parandama means Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Achanam Bandhanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atmana Vedanam. So that is the process. And Prabhupada says it's not depending on the 9 processes of devotional service that we see Krishna. Prabhupada said, even if you can employ just one of those processes, even if you can just remember Krishna even if you can just chant about Krishna, any one of those 9 processes, you will perfect your life. And then direct perception, Krishna will reveal himself. And Krishna consciousness it's a multiple. You're multitasking on different levels, because while you're performing one thing, you're probably doing another, but you're not fully conscious of it. Because we've got these senses, we've got the sense of touch, the sense of smell. We can all our senses can be engaged, and we're thinking, oh, we're only doing this service, but within this service we're probably doing many other things, and that's the way we please Krishna. It's very simple. So I've gone over a little bit in time. Does anyone have any questions? Would anyone like to take advantage of me possibly answering the question? I can't guarantee I'm going to answer it, but is there anything to say? See, like I said just before the class, we're almost there. When we leave these bodies, if we can accumulate as much devotional service as possible, chanting as many times as possible, because Prabhupada says in Vrindavan, whatever you do in Vrindavan is magnified at least 10 times, if not more. I can't remember exactly what. So you do 1 year's service in Vrindavan, it's like doing 10 years service in the Western country. Yeah, it's magnified. Oh, it could be 1,000. Hey, look at that. I'm minimizing it. I'm really minimizing it. So there you are. There you go. Look at that. See? All this extra information coming. Good. So, are we fortunate or not? Just think of all the other people in the material world. We leave Vrindavan and we go back to different places in the material world. And it's about having compassion, developing compassion. And if we can plant seeds, because we can plant our own seeds of giving prasadam. Can you imagine you kickstart someone's spiritual life simply by giving them prasadam? Just talking about Krishna, anything that will impact them, because that is then, it's 1 penny in the bank, isn't it? It's like it starts the spiritual account. So it's like you're giving them transcendental money to put in the account, and that account, it will never go down. It will always remain what it is. In Australia, where Vishal and I live, it's all about prasadam. They're very dense, Australians, because they eat so much meat. Very, very, very big meat eaters and drinkers. They drink so much. So, philosophically speaking, it's very difficult for them to absorb philosophy. But saying that, they're also, it's probably like this in most countries, but they're big dog lovers as well. They love dogs. One family will sometimes have 3 or 4 dogs. And sometimes they're so big, I just can't imagine what they do in the house. Where they go and, what's the point? And then they take them out for walks early in the morning, and then you see everyone with their dog walking along, and then they'll stop, and their conversation is always about their dog, each other's dog, not about anything else, not even about the weather or what you're wearing today, where are you going today, how are you feeling, are you healthy? No, it's all about the dog, and the dog sitting there feeling so proud and always talking about me. So popular, you know. And then they have this facility for home visits, for cleaning the dog, for bathing the dog, and cutting the hair and trimming the dog and clothing the dog. Dogs wear special clothes now, and they have the insurance companies now are insuring dogs, you know, the lives of dogs, you know. And then when they go to the vet, you can imagine that the cost of the bills, the vet bills, right? So Prabhupada said love of dog. And it's funny how dog and God are backwards, aren't they? It's like God and dog, you know, so the spelling, you know. So. And then they have to pick up the stool of the dog through a plastic bag, so they have to turn the bag inside out, so their hand is in the bag, and then they pick up the stool, and they know they don't. It's horrible, but they pretend it's just part of the process, you know. It's all right, it's my dog. And what was that other thing I was going to say about? Can't remember. It's just. Preaching? Yeah. Yeah.
After they have babysitters, because they have to go to work or somewhere, and they have babies.
Yeah.
Take them out,
That's right. When they go on holiday. Yeah. Yeah.
Sit them all down, talking about Canada.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
babysitters, so many.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have job, babysitter.
Yeah. And see, Prabhupada says that that's the culture where they kill the cow and worship the dog. And you know, if you look at the cow stool, it is antiseptic, it's pure. Like, have you been over to the place where they make all those products from the Goshala? What's his name, that devotee couple? You know, they make all those products. We were over there the other day. They make incense and they got ointment and I mean, mother cow, she produces, she gives. She's a giver. The cow is a giver. Why is Krishna so fond of the cow? You know? What a creation, huh? Beautiful eyes of the cow, and it's so gentle. And you know, the movements that the cow makes is beautiful. Prabhupada told me when we were beginning the Goshala, he said, and of course it's all time, place and circumstance, but Prabhupada said to me, cow worship is just as important as deity worship. You know? And what if you look at Krishna Balaram, tomorrow morning at Mangalati, you see the altar. There's beautiful cows, deities. There's cows, you know. And that's what Raman Reti is all about, is cows. So the more cows that we can have, the better. Cows are an integral part of Krishna Lila. It's so important. All right, so.
Prabhu, in this particular purport, Prabhupada mentions about the charity, that how should we offer charity. But in particular in Vrindavan, when we travel in Vrindavan around this, we can see lots of widows, pandas. They are in Vrindavan, and as you mentioned, Prabhupada said, Vrindavan inhabitants of Vrindavan is not normal, like they all are transcendental. So anything, Prabhu, remember that Prabhupada says personally that how we should consider in the land of Vrindavan regarding this charity.
Prabhupada, in regards to charity, Prabhupada says that the most charitable thing you can do, and it's stated in the purport tonight. Did you read that?
Yeah.
Can you get the purport? It tells exactly about charity. That if a person is charitably disposed, that they support the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It says here it is.
Yeah, as far as charity is concerned, it
Yeah.
is plain that charity should be given to the devotees of Krishna who are engaged in his devotional service to spread the Krishna philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Yeah, that's what Prabhupada says.
Yes. So it's the same in Vrindavan. Prabhupada said the Brijbasis were different from the Brijbasis. Brijbasis, they're born in Vrindavan and they're under the control of Radharani. Radhe Radhe. We don't chant Radhe Radhe. Prabhupada said many times before, Lord Chaitanya says, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we appreciate the locals, the people that are born in Vrindavan. They are advanced souls. They have another journey. We have a journey. Our journey is to be part of Prabhupada's Sankirtan movement. And we come under the Maha Mantra. We're in the Gaudiya Brahma Sampradaya. And we're not Radhe Sham, Hare, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Sham. That is not our line. And Prabhupada when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, he corrected many times about his devotees too much chanting Radhe Sham instead of Hare Krishna. So in Vrindavan, the charity is the same. You know, look, there is no harm whatsoever if we donate some nice cloth. If there are widows in Vrindavan that need some cloth to wear, there is nothing wrong with giving that. Yeah, and prashadam, there's nothing wrong, you know. But we are more charitably disposed by giving Krishna in the form of prashadam, in the form of books, in the form of whatever it is, in the form of asking someone to do service. It's all absolute, you know. So we're the greatest charity because we're helping people get out of the material world, and that's the problem. It's no good giving material charity. Oh, I feel sorry for that person. He's very poor. He's diseased, and he's only got one leg, and let me give him, you know, a few hundred rupees or something like that, right? It's possible that person may go off and buy drink, cigarettes, who knows what they'll buy. You just don't know what you're doing. So the idea is that we simply think of the soul, not the body. The soul is never disturbed by how broken or misshaped the body is, or how poor the body is, or how diseased the body is. The soul needs to get out of the material world. So the idea is that we give the soul Krishna in different forms. Prashadam. Do you understand? We've always got to keep in mind that people are not their bodies. So we may be impacted by how a person is for us. We think, oh, that person's really going through hard times, you know. Oh, difficult. But there's no greater charity than asking them to chant Hare Krishna. Like, one of the most inspiring things for me in the morning is to hear Maharaj telling these statistics about how many people chanted one round of japa in the samadhi. I think that's incredible. How that's real Sankirtan, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, we're trying to get books. We ask for donations, but when you say, look, you know what, chant, just come in here and please chant one round of japa, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 108 times, please. And to get 300, 400, 500 people throughout the day to sit and chant, look, that's incredible planting of the seed, that Bhakti Lata seed, isn't it? That's charity right there. Rather than giving someone 100 rupees to for a bandage for their leg or something like that, it's like, there's plenty of other people. That's what you call the ripples. When you throw a stone in the water, you get ripples. So as you go further on the periphery of the original circle, you'll get a lot of that kind of material aid. And there are charities that they're philanthropic, materially philanthropic, and they give aid to people, but they don't give spiritual aid like we do. So we give the highest form of charity because it helps the soul on its journey to come through those layers of the universe and into the Vaikuntha Lokas, where we really belong. That is our home, and that's real charity. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari Bol.